Maybe you've seen them on research tools, found them on Etsy, or heard about them on YouTube here. What do $1 million Etsy stores all have in common? I've worked with, helped, grown, and have researched so many $1 million Etsy stores now that I cannot keep this to myself. I simply have to share with you what they all have in common and how you can mirror this yourself. What's up, everybody? Dave here. Welcome back to the channel. What do $1 million Etsy stores all do differently, and what do they have in common? I want to share this with you because I think it's pretty interesting. There are some outliers that are worth noting. Before we get into it, definitely grab the free Etsy Ads cheat sheet in the description below, as well as if you want one-on-one help with me, grab a free 10-minute call in the description below. I'll tell you what I see in your store, tell you how I can grow your store, and we'll go from there. So, what do $1 million Etsy stores do differently? My thesis here is that seven-figure Etsy stores really are different. They often have one or more of the outliers that I'm going to cover here today. I've studied with, worked with, and helped grow seven-figure Etsy stores for 8 years now. I've been coaching for 8 years now. It's crazy to say that. Everything I have found in common with these stores are outlined in this video. So my goal today for you, is to identify at least one of these factors that you can replicate or at least mirror in some capacity, either in your store or a new store. So factor number one, pricing is always this. Without fail, pricing is almost always $40 to $50 and above. I've rarely worked with a store that does over 7 figures each with an average price point of under $50. It's just a matter of fact. Take it how you want to. 7-figure $1 million Etsy stores usually have mid to high ticket prices, meaning high-end jewelry starting at $200 to $3,000 even, furniture starting at $800, or just a very unique product at $50. Stores making 7 figures with these price points are 10 times more common than not. Now, you could be watching this and say, well, I know of this one store that sells 1 penny digital downloads and they've done $1 million. Okay, that's great. Most stores that do 7 figures fit into this category. There's always going to be some kind of an exception to any type of generality or generalization, whatever, but most that I've seen are always $40 to $50 and above, oftentimes even higher. So how do you mirror this? If you have an average price point lower than that $40 to $50 mark, create a product line that you can charge more for. You likely can make something in your ability that you can charge more for. So don't sell yourself short. If you can't, you can't, but oftentimes you can, all right? So that's number one. The pricing is always around there or higher. Factor number two is extreme listing quantity. So what do I mean by this? Not in the way that you think. Most times it's either very high or very low. Over 1,000 listings and above, or under 100. That's just what I've come across. It's odd, right? It's an extreme game of quantity or quality. Now, obviously, you want both, but in this illustration, it really is quantity or quality. Obviously, you have to have quality to do anything in life. But how to mirror? Pretty simple. Either have extremely unique products that not many people sell and only need a handful of listings for, or come to market with a force of volume the algorithm can't ignore. If you go on any software that you can see the top Etsy sellers, you'll find that the top Etsy sellers have 1,000 listings or above. Now, some of these stores, I will say, are supply stores or mega stores with lower price points, some with lower price points. But the ones with thousands and thousands and thousands of listings typically are supply stores. That's what we've seen early on in Etsy days. I don't know if you remember, if you've been around long enough, you might remember the store Bohemian Findings. That store had thousands and thousands of listings, and it was a supply store, but they were around from like day one. And to be honest, I don't know if they were doing 7 figures. I just know that they were on the top. But all of the top Etsy stores on any software that you use to look at them have thousands and thousands of listings. Keep in mind, though, it is 100% possible to spam hundreds of listings onto the platform and get absolutely nowhere. I've seen that happen a lot. People take the high listing count thing to the moon with terrible POD products and bad designs and fall flat on their face. So you obviously have to have quality. It's not quantity or quality per se, but when it is quality in this illustration, the quality is so high in uniqueness and everything that you only need a handful of listings. So there's that. Factor number 2. If you guys want to build your own website outside of Etsy, I highly recommend Everbee Store. They have a builder that is extremely intuitive, very customizable, and you can import your listings from other platforms and you can have AI do it. They also have templates, of course. Very nice. I checked it out myself and I highly recommend it. The link is in the description if you want to try it. Factor number 3 is opportunity cost, being early. Many seven-figure shops I've come across or worked with have been extremely early, if not first, to a product or niche that grew very, very quickly. So they became the pillar, the copied store, and the authority. There are new niches, products, and opportunities emerging constantly. Do not think otherwise. I'm not talking about trend hopping. I'm not talking about that. POD designs of the current event, trendy topic, or some cute show. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about opportunity in emerging product lines or types of products, things like that. How do you mirror this? There could always be new emerging trends within your niche. So if you already have an existing store, obviously you're not going to jump ship. You're going to look for emerging trends within your niches or niche. So be on the watch for that for existing stores. For POD suppliers come out, or one thing to know is that POD suppliers come out with new things all the time. The right timing plus the right decisions can catapult you. The first store I remember seeing with custom face socks, they had for the longest time, I think the store is in Oregon. I remember this store. For the longest time, they only had 7 listings or something crazy like that. And they were doing very, very well. I didn't know their numbers, but it had to have been based off their sales volume well into 7 figures. And that was somebody that was extremely early onto Etsy with a trending product. Now, custom face socks, custom dog socks, custom whatever, your face, your dog face, whatever, onto a garment, it's second nature to print on demand people. They all know about it. But that store, that was one of the first, and he definitely made out like a bandit. So opportunity is very real on Etsy. And if you can find something new, you could sit on research for a while or just be researching for a while. And then once you see something take off that you feel like is worth it, be the first to jump on that, whether it's print on demand or something else. And you never know. You could easily grow a 7-figure store within a year if things go right for you. Not saying you can get rich quick easily. I'm saying that it's possible. All right. So that's all 3 of the things I wanted to share with you today about 7-figure stores that I've found. These are all true. Either one or all of these things are true when it comes to 7-figure stores. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Grab the free Etsy Ads cheat sheet as well as a free call with me in the description. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.